always really hard to follow Kevin Brennan in his speech, not only because I have to move the but because he is a legend in Parliament for his amazing support for the music industry and particularly for live music venues. So thank you, Kevin. And thank you for the Music Venues Trust for tonight's event. I don't think I've ever seen so many people crammed into this room. I have certainly never seen so many cool people. It's just such a great honour to chair the Culture, Media and Sport Select Committee. In the past 8 months, we've really tried to throw ourselves into continuing the tradition of the committee to really try and do inquiries that support our music industry, such as we've done work on the impact of artificial intelligence on creators' intellectual property. We've done some work on creator remuneration, how we make sure that creators get the money from their amazing intellectual property, the economics of music streaming. We revisited that particular hard nut to crack, and of course we're now looking at the ongoing upcoming inquiry into grassroots music venues, which you've heard Kevin mention. Look, most members of Parliament, there are quite a few here this evening, they'll all be able to tell you about an amazing music venue in their constituency, and they all know the impact that it has on their community. You've heard, that's why, Kevin's absolutely right. You do have to get in touch with your MPs and sell it to them, make sure that they fully understand the struggles that you're going through. We know the ability that they have to engage, to inspire, to bring people together. There's no substitute for live music. And I know every single one of you will have a live music highlight. My own particular, quite recent one, it was quite a long time ago, but there was one that particularly sticks in my mind. It was the coronation weekend. I actually wasn't doing anything coronation related because I was on a birthday party weekend with a bunch of my girlfriends in deepest, darkest Dorset, and we found ourselves at the end of the night crammed into this pub called the Square and Compass, drinking cider so potent that I could pretty much feel the hairs growing on my chest as I was drinking it, and listening to a little known folk duo called Good Habits. I would suggest you look them up on Instagram. A remarkable combination of an accordion and a double bass with very unlikely cover versions, and apologies for virtually all of you in this room who are younger than me, but it included things like I Think We're Alone Now by Tiffany, and Video Killed the Music big star, the radio star. It made us all feel amazing, and it lasted way beyond that night and way beyond the cider hangover of the day after. But actually the importance of small music venues expands way beyond the feeling of warmth and togetherness and community spirit that they engender. Simply put, our creative industries are our global superpower. We're amazing at this stuff, and music is the absolute jewel in the crown. You can travel halfway around the world to the most obscure corners of the earth, and people there will know and speak adoringly of some of our British musical talent, past and present. And this doesn't happen by accident, and it doesn't happen overnight. These stars were formed and they were honed in the small music venues that are the length and breadth of Britain. You've heard how geographically spread they are. You know that for yourselves. They're a vital part of the pipeline. So I know I don't want to say anything that's going to preempt what Mark's about to say, but I know that some of the findings from the report are particularly disturbing. 100 venues permanently closing, tiny profit margins, which you've already heard about. And in that context, sharp rises in rent and other overheads against the backdrop of performing artists, not to mention the ecosystem that depends on them, just becoming more and more reliant on live music income to make ends meet. So, the loss of those venues makes such a difference to the music of the people that we all love. And there's not, as you've heard, there's no lack of appetite for live music. It's, far from it. Now, look, those of you who have had any engagement with me as chair of the select committee will know I'm from Portsmouth. I'm not afraid of a fight. I was formerly a culture minister. I was the culture minister that introduced the Cultural Recovery Fund, £2 billion worth of funding supporting over 5,000 organisations and nearly 220,000 jobs during the darkest days of the pandemic. And as the chair of the select committee, I've got the most fantastic team around me, and we want to support you in taking the message to the government and the wider sector of the challenges that face small music venues. The government has stated their ambition for our creative industries to be one of their key growth sectors, and they've set out the creative industries sector vision, and we're going to keep pushing the government on this. Earlier this month, I spoke up in questions about the importance of providing more money as part of the Supporting Grassroots Music Fund, because it just needs to go further and faster. And we're going to keep calling for the sector as a whole to recognise the importance of cascading down some of the vast profits from the big venues into the vital parts of the pipeline. Last week, the committee took the Premier League and the English Football League to task over a sort of similar arrangement in coming to a solution that sees some of these really big multi-billion-pound superstar clubs financially supporting those further down the pipeline. So that's why we have launched our inquiry into grassroots music venues. Kevin and I announced it at the Venues Day in October. We're starting with a series of roundtables, and they kick off next week in Manchester, where I hear we're meeting 19 different local venues, and we want to hear about all the obstacles, everything from noise-related disputes, licensing issues, venue limitations, and of course the ongoing financial constraints that venues operate under, and the extent to which some of the big venue operators, artists, wider industry all recognise the need for the long-term change that's needed. And we're really, really grateful for the Music Venue Trust friends and members engaging with us on this. It's our incredible artists and our amazing music venues that make the UK music industry the absolute international powerhouse that it is. Your sector combined contributed over £500 billion to the economy in 2023, and you've heard the audience figures already. That's millions of people from home and abroad coming out to experience the magic of live performances. Not only that, you just reach out to the wider creative industries. Your venues are, community assets, educational courses, social projects, cultural productions like exhibitions, photo galleries, art installations, theatre, dance, cinema, film, because you have the ability to reach out to communities, because actually you're quite cool. You can engage, you can inspire, you can educate, you can entertain, you can comfort, and you can empower like literally no one else. So that we know that music is the absolute heart of the creative industries, and music venues are the very heart of that as well. And that all starts with you. So thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you for the Music Venue Trust for having us this evening. And I think I've now got over to you, Mark.
Yes.